Hi, it's Nathan is okay, and welcome to my video. Before we start, like, subscribe, whatever you're gonna do. Let's get into it, right? Today we're gonna be talking about Static Shock and superheroes, gun violence, a little bit of everything, right? Static Shock, if you don't know, is a black superhero. A lot of people call him the Black Spider-Man, well, before Miles Morales, obviously. But I personally don't identify with that because he's not just Black Spider-Man, he's a genuine attempt at creating an African-American character, an African-American teen character that can connect to African-American experiences. The lead writer of Static Shock, the late Dwayne McDuffie, was a big proponent of inclusivity in comic books, and not just shoehorning inclusivity, but genuinely representing the diverse experiences of people as superheroes. Because for the longest time, superheroes were primarily white individuals with superpowers, because comic books were it was a white male-dominated field. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, I think diversity and inclusivity is important. But beyond that, I just connected with the character of Static Shock. He's one of those characters that he's not just compelling because he's a black character. He's compelling because through his experiences and through his adventures and misadventures and shortcomings and his ability to just keep fighting, not just through supervillains and the monster of the week, but through the genuine everyday struggles that kind of befall him. That's where we find the human. That's where we find the individual that creates and derives Static Shock. For me, Static Shock kind of represented a part of my childhood that was empowering, because for me it was genuinely empowering seeing a character I actually identified with. Because for the longest time, when you watch television or you watched any superhero piece of media, it was never somebody that looked like you. It was never somebody that looked like me. And for me, that was empowering. And now I've been kind of free for the last couple of days. And one of my friends, I'm staying at his house right now, has HBO Max. So I was like, I'm finna watch some Static Shock episodes. I looked at the top 10 Static Shock episodes and I was like, hey, which episode I'm finna watch? I watched this episode named Jimmy, right? And when I tell you that the impact that episode has had on me is way more than I could have ever possibly known, oh my goodness, I'd be doing it a disservice. Season 2, the finale, known as Jimmy, right, is, in my opinion, one of the most powerful episodes of kids television that I've ever watched. It's, first things first, it's basically an anti-gun violence PSA. But the way it kind of does that isn't through, oh yeah, guns are bad, but by genuinely showing the nuances of bullying, how gun violence can affect not only individuals, but how it affects somebody with superpowers, somebody who's supposed to just save the day, right? Because at the end of the day, guns don't discriminate. Bullets don't discriminate. Bullets just gonna do what bullets do. And superheroes don't stop gun violence. People do, through being kind, through goodwill, through looking out for each other, and by genuinely trying to care for one another, right? It's kind of, how do I put this, right? It's kind of one of those episodes that you watch and you look at as an episode that came out in 2001, a show that is 2 decades old, and you look at it and you go, man, this is extraordinarily relevant to our society today and to how we not just function as a society, but how detached and cold we are towards gun violence now. Because genuinely, I'm a few days removed from one of the worst school shootings in human history, and it's crazy, but the dialogue in Texas is quite literally, we should regulate schools and not guns. We should fight for the right to to lock down schools, and not for the right for our children to be safe in schools, regardless of any of the things that could potentially harm a child in a school. It's so dumb. It's genuinely so stupid. It's hard for me to talk because I've been doing take after take of this video because I don't know how I want to approach this. Because the reason the episode didn't just resonate with me so much is because it's May 29th right now. I'm a few days removed from one of the worst school shootings in history, and if I really went on any news platform, it probably wouldn't have even been the only school shooting this week. It probably wouldn't have been the only shooting incident this week. And that's just kind of how desensitized we are to gun violence. And the reason that it stands out to me is because the end of the episode of Static Shock, it ends on a call to action. And in doing so, it also drops some statistics about gun violence. And when I heard those statistics about gun violence, I think something in me really cried because it's crazy. It's genuinely crazy that in 2001, 6,000 students got expelled from schools for bringing guns to school, right? Now, I'd be willing to bet that maybe more than 6,000 students, or maybe 6,000 students a year, die in schools to gun violence. It is so normal. It is so normal for people to just grab a gun and just go somewhere and kill a mass of people, or to kill a group of people, or to kill a person in broad daylight, that we just kind of expect it now. Like, what? Like, genuinely what? Like, that's terrible. That's genuinely terrifying. That is just normal for us? Because in 2001, like, maybe a fraction of the number of people that probably not just own guns, but died to gun violence, it was a fraction. And it was enough of a problem for a team of one of the most popular shows, cartoon shows, kid shows, to go, hey guys, we need to inform kids and make sure that they are safe in the event that they are exposed to a gun, right? And now today, no one's worried about making sure their kid knows what to do when they see a gun. They're more worried about if their kid's gonna be safe. Because now the kid's not just worried about, oh, what do I do if I see a gun? The kid's worried about what happens if I'm locked in a classroom and someone breaks into my school with an automatic rifle and just sprays a clip into my classroom through the door or through the wall or from a window, or like, what? Why is our society progressing this way? It's terrible. I feel like if I stay here, I'm gonna go on for hours. So I'm gonna just stop the video right now. But yeah, go watch Static Shock, and also go call your elected officials. Go try to be the change you want to see. Gun violence shouldn't be this much of a problem, because we constantly try to regulate people's bodies, people's minds, their thoughts, opinions, but we can't regulate guns though. Like, what? That's so stupid to me. So dumb. Like, what? All right. Good night. Have a wonderful day.